Hi, I'm Chris. I'm on Boulevard Studios right here in Northeast Ohio. We're a full service landscape architecture firm, and I definitely want to thank Outstanding Ohio for the opportunity to make this video. That said, it's springtime here, and it's about the time I start getting a lot of calls, not just for design work, but from friends who are at the garden center trying to pick out plants. This always makes me a little itchy because at the point that they're calling me, they're usually overwhelmed and about to load up their cars with a bunch of plants without really knowing how many they need or really where to put them when they get home. So today I'm going to show you how to draw up a quick base plan that you can take to the garden center to help you shop for plants, or even if you're working with a landscape designer. Because the trick to good landscape design is to have some sort of plan. You'll need to grab a few things before you run out to measure. Here I have measuring tape, grid paper, but any kind of lined paper will do, a clipboard or something to write on, and of course something to write with. You may also want a ruler or a straight edge for later. Okay, let's go outside. Once you're outside, measure every nook and cranny, but make it easy on yourself and round to the nearest 6 inches or even a foot. Don't forget to measure and locate any plants that you're keeping. And take down the vertical heights of things so you don't block windows and so the new plantings respond to the architecture of your home. Okay, so I'm back inside and have my measurements ready. Now it's time to draw up a scaled plan. You want to start first by calculating the overall width of the area you just measured, and then you're going to decide how that might fit onto your piece of paper. The width of this front yard was 47 feet, and my paper has about 55 squares across, so that means I can fit this in if I make one square equal about 1 foot. And if you're using lined paper, just turn it this way and do the same thing. Now, you want to draw in, using that scale, exactly what you just measured out in the front yard. Draw in all those nooks and crannies. Don't forget windows, downspouts, meters, steps, anything that might affect where you're going to be able to put plants. Don't forget also any landscape material that's going to remain that you want to plant around. And then finally, if the bed line is going to stay the same, make sure you draw that in the way you measured it. Match your distances from the face of the building. If it's going to change, draw in the old one and then maybe start to kind of sketch in where you think the new bed line should go. Also, draw in any site conditions. That would be important to show to the person that's helping you, because you may not remember everything when you are there. Definitely draw a north arrow so that you can evaluate the sun patterns and kind of help decide which plants you should put in, if you need shade plants or plants that are better for full sun. Any buffers or views that you would like to block, wind patterns even, are very important to laying out your plan. Now you may wish to start drawing in some of the proposed plants that you have visualized for your beds, which is great. And even if you want to indicate what you think should go there, like low shrubs, ornamental grasses, flowering shrubs, perennials, and whatnot, this is going to help the person who's helping you decide what size these materials may be. Maybe you have a small area here, so you need low shrubs that also stay very compact. You don't have a lot of room for them to spread, and you don't want to be yanking them out, several years down the road. The same with all of this. Everywhere you have space, you'll know how big of a plant you can fit in. And again, we're working with mature size, so we want to make sure that we're selecting plants that fit at maturity so that you have a nice long-lasting landscape. As you can see, we now have a pretty basic plan that we can take to the garden center to begin selecting plants. We know roughly how much sun the plants will get, and where we might need to create buffers, and what other conditions we have that will influence how we choose or purchase our plants. Most of all, the plant is scaled, and if we keep a mindful eye on the mature sizes of the plants as we shop, we'll know how many to put in without having them become too crowded or overgrown years down the road. There's a lot more we could show you, but I think this video is probably long enough as it is. So I'd like to thank Outstanding Ohio for hosting Boulevard Studios this week, and to you for watching. Thanks and happy spring.